Administrative stuff all over. We have the picks going on through, as I tried to mention in chat real quick off the top of my head. Invoker was the last one that I didn't count in there, but GGnet, I believe Purge is probably going to, yeah, if it says it right, obviously, what you have going on. Purge is going to be picking up the Invoker. Saw actually just recent match where he went in with Lincoln's Yules and Aghanim's and went very effectively, so he's definitely going to be going the middle lane. While I was looking at these drafts, I was actually thinking of an interesting lineup potentially for Goosey Gamers here. They could actually shut down the Anti-Mage early on, go for an aggressive tri-lane, and what that would be involved is pretty much the Leshrac, Luna, and Vengeful Spirit would be going up top to thwart the Anti-Mage as best as possible, and with that they would be looking at Tidehunter probably solo and bot, but it looks like they're going the opposite of that. I'll switch over my overlay real quick. Okay, sorry about that. All set and ready to go from the break. Jumping back into it. No, it looks like they're going to be going for Farm Luna. They're not going to worry about too much about shutting down. They're looking for some quick items on her. Not exactly sure, but 250 gold saved up. In the meantime, yeah, it is Invoker in the middle lane. He's going Quaz with Blades of Attack, so plenty of standard regen over time, but it's going to be the question of if they can harass him back fast enough. Chernobyl going to try to suicide up against a very, very painful tri-lane Anti-Mage, Shadow Shaman, and Enigma here. So as far as the teams here, I believe this is Break the Desk Please, which is the manager of M5. Then we got Thon Mayo, who is the manager of SGC, Storm Games Clan. We have Slayer Mini Casters, I'm not sure who drafted that. Too Good. Is Too Good really? Is that seriously? I don't know. It wasn't Marcus was the name. I don't know if that's who it is, but Mouse Paisley from Mouse Sports, the manager there, so going into it. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and this is Blaze Casting presentation, bringing you guys a game in this Dota staff tournament. And so far so good. It's been very fun with previous games, but took a while. Sorry for the long break, but we're getting into it finally, and glad for it, as we'll see these two in the winner's bracket going up against each other. GGnet, Perch been playing very, very well so far with Lone Druid, and whoever else. I didn't watch his first game, but so far they're still in it, winner's bracket. So up against Rubik, it'll be an interesting 1v1 matchup there. Rubik not saving anything for bottle at all, and that's generally what gives him the advantage about 2 minutes into the game for the lane, but no, he's going for clarities. Probably expected to be going up against the Invoker. Ward's covering up on the top runes. 1 to block off the pull for up top. Chernobyl won't be denied too much experience. Mouse Pacey taking a lot of damage, actually. Haste rune on the Leshrac, and Vlad's Nightmare putting out a lot of damage onto the Bounty Hunter here. Anywho, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm still a relatively new caster. Been at it for about 3 months, but trying to do it as good as possible and getting in these fun little games for this casual tournament here between all the people behind the scenes of Dota 2 and the organizations that revolve around it. So need a little bit of spotlight for these guys, show some appreciation, and yeah, they don't get appreciated enough, that's for sure. So getting with that, Slayer Mini Casters, I'm not sure who weapons Process of Elimination. I think it might be Drunken, who's the manager of Tough Bananas, now MYM, Meet Your Makers, but I'm not too sure 100%, so I'm just going to call him by the name he has listed here. But in the meantime, as far as the laning situation goes, breaking it down, the Enigma are probably going to get quite a bit of farm in the jungle here, pretty much uncontested other than one camp on the pole camp being blocked off, so he's going to be able to farm up very rapidly with his Eidolons. On the other hand, Vlad's Nightmare trying to zone out, not to leech too much experience, and though he is able to push Mouse Paisley off the lane quite a bit with this Sentry Ward here, he needs to probably get Luna a kill if he's going to be any benefit here. Though, of course, since the pull hasn't been warded, they can stack it up, they can pull it across, and so they've done a pretty good job denying the Bounty Hunter experience so far, but if they're not going to get a kill, it's not going to get Luna nearly as much farm as she needs. Now on the Magic Missile does go on through, the damage from this Edict just chewing through into Mouse Paisley, one more auto attack, the Sentry Ward's all the way across the field, and he tries to juke, he's trying to run, trying to get out of getting back into invisibility, but they're just staying on top of him, and that's going to be fine. Okay. Chernobyl, on the other hand, faring pretty well. Obviously not feeding First Blood is always a preference there, but Thon Mayo has plenty of disables ready to rock and roll against him if he ever gets too close to the creep wave itself. So just trying to stay at 1200. They have a really good offensive ward here, making sure they monitor his actions completely and can zone him out as much as he needs to. And once the rank 2 Malphus comes through with from Enigma around level 4, it's going to be very destructive as Enigma tries to transition in for some powerful ganks. Kraken Chill might be able to get him out of it, but will be tough one way or another. But this pressure on the tier 1 tower at bottom, it's not exactly a push lane, but if you think about it, the Vengeance Aura, stacking that up with the Lunar Blessing is a lot of auto attack damage increase to all the heroes involved. Could put a lot out. Along with that, the Leshrac, of course, with his Diabolic Edict, one of the best tower killing spells in the game, especially early on. And with that, as long as they have something to tank it up, they can burn it through it pretty quickly. And with the Glyph already having been popped, they can actually put a lot of pressure, especially if they get another kill on Paisley here. Meantime, I feed. Break the Tusk, please. Yeah, one way or another. He is level 4, farming up very nicely. 22 jungle last hits. Along with that, the Anti-Mage getting complete free farm right now. 18 at 3 minutes in, so doing extremely well. Right, exactly where he wants to be at. Could be up to like 24 or something, I think, but not a big deal one way or another. Anywho, Mouse Paisley is level 3, so he put a couple points in Shuriken. That's interesting. Janata rank 2 is a decent slow. I mean, still going to be the same static slow, but a decent burst of damage. I don't think it's that much better than rank 1, though. I would generally prefer to rank Shuriken from that point on, or at least another point in Shadow Walk to stay alive. But one way or another, that's going to be his choice to skill it up. Captain Crunch looking to get some Sentry Wards out, I believe. Just keep the pressure on Mouse Paisley. That's really what they want to do. If Bounty Hunter has delayed his track as much as possible, then that's going to limit the gold that he can provide to his entire team. Purge, on the other hand, doing pretty well in mid lane right now. 11 CS, 9 denies. Rubik getting a little bit of last hit deny up against him, but not too bad. And with this Cold Snap and going for a Wex build, he'll be able to auto-attack really, really hard if Rubik stays around for a little bit too long, but too good. Doing perfectly fine for the time being in Chernobyl. Doing what he can as well. The Ravage will be delayed even more so than Track. If you're looking for at the experience per minute, he's near the bottom next to Leshrac. A lot on GGnet, really not getting the experience they need. Chernobyl getting flanked a little bit. Slayer Mini Casters trying to go aggressively on him, but Thon Mayo has already fallen back, and with that he won't be able to disable him up. Meantime, Enigma is coming in, has rank 3 Malefice now. Still only 2 instances, but pretty considerable if you add all that up. This is just a best of 1. The grand final is the only one that's going to be best of 3, so got to keep that in mind. This is pretty much still, it's a double elimination, so they drop down to the loser's bracket and come right back up to the grand finals, possibly. It depends on who's going to win up against, well, obviously that's to be determined based on Toby's game, as he's playing Nature Prophet on a whole different setup here, but in the meantime, Anti-Mage goes on. He's going to continue to farm, going for a burning build right now, going for stats and 1-1-1, and with that getting a lot out of it. Mouse Paisley gets stunned up a little bit. Sentry's there, the Lunar, actually Lucent Beam, doing a decent chunk of damage there, but she's only got a little bit more mana to spare on it. And right now, Too Good, covering up the most recent rune, the Illusion one, but had to bottle up a lot to, okay, never mind, 2 charges. Clicking the wrong thing. In the meantime, looks like a smoke gank is coming in. Thon Mayo wants to be aggressive here. He has a rank 1 shackle, but still a long duration, 2.5 seconds, and with 2 charges of Malefice, but Purge, if he gets to, he sees him coming in, but the Malefice will start it off. No, it won't. He ghost walks immediately. Really, really fast reaction by Purge. I mean, that ghost walk was just instantaneous. They didn't have any sentries to burn him down, and I'm surprised that Break the Desk Fleas didn't actually go and Malefice start it off to set up the shackles there, but he screwed it up, and with that, Purge is able to escape to safety. Spent a lot of mana in the process, but not the biggest deal in the world as he has so much lane sustain. In the meantime, Dire just looking for a kill so much the managers want to bring somebody down, but I don't think Chernobyl is the right choice. He's very beefy, only at level 3. He still has almost 700 HP. He doesn't have the Ravage or anything, but coming in, flanking from behind, Too Good with the Haste Rune, looking for some action. Gets the spell seal on the Anchor Smash, that's something, and the Shackle's going through a lot of damage there. The Anti-Mage taking up the tower now, but they get the kill. Shadow Shaman finished that off. Probably should have given it to Anti-Mage, but just wanted to make sure he's down as fast as possible so they don't have to worry about the tower anymore. Rune Spawn, I don't know what they're pinging there, but nope. They're going to put pressure on the top tower now. That's the name of the game for them. In the meantime, Ace going up against Paisley, trying to lock him down as best as possible. So we'll see that. Purge coming up back towards top, knows that there's a lot of pressure in that direction. Don't want to pop Fortify just yet. Want to put pressure out. He's got something coming in from the core. He has Tornado up at the moment. Going for the Wex build, very fast movement speed, attack speed, just aggressive overall, and can do a lot with it. But yeah, Tornado goes on through. Big Tornado, actually. 3 people caught in that. An immediate kill. Follow-up with Vlad's Nightmare landing a good split earth. And Thon Mayo trying to survive, but the Edict damage, the auto-attack damage, even the Cold Snap pop, just to make sure. And that's 3 easy kills. That was 3, right? Okay, just 2. Okay, Anti-Mage got out of there with a very, very quick blink, but meantime, down bottom, Mouse Paisley getting forced off the lane. More Lucent Beams all day, every day. But yeah, Too Good. Not really worrying about it too much. Purge back in the lane already. That's power of Wex. You just right now it's only 4% movement speed each, so 12%, and then you add in the phase boots, and he's very, very swift on his feet and continuously spending his money for stuff. But anyways, Wepus just trying to just staying in the lane, try to get as much last hit as possible, because really the farm is the name of the game for the laning phase. And right now, he's still at the top. I was going to say he's not doing too great with all the pressure that's been put out, but Chernobyl sitting up top for the time being. That means that Anti-Mage will get some damage out here. Nice gank coming in. A lot of stuns popped. Gush go on through. Anchor Smash. Titan are going to pick up an easy kill there. Move towards Arcane Boots with that pretty rapidly there. And that'll help them out a lot in sustaining their pushes and such. Rubik has bottled up a regeneration rune as well as stolen the Cold Snap. Rank 2, I believe, from Purge. Nope, rank 3. But with that, he'll be able to put out a little bit of damage pressure unless there's some gank action coming out. Malphite stun onto Vlad's Nightmare. He's trying to get a Split Earth off, but it's not going to happen. Too many mini stuns from Cold Snap, and now just a black hole holding both in, and there's just no way of them getting out of there. Too much Disable, too much damage, and just those two alone getting 2 easy kills with almost no cost to their health, and M5's Manager going on to just Soul Ring back up to plenty of mana there. Thon Mayo looking for a gank, trying to block down Invoker. Purge looking to be quick on the keys once more. Has Wex at the moment, but the question is, will Thon Mayo be able to flank him effectively enough to keep that aggression up, or is he just going to be warding bottom rune and try to give Rubik back that control of the middle lane for the time being? Right now, one thing to mention is that GGnet is up 4-3 before even getting Ravage. That's a really big deal right now. Of course, one of them was a quick, easy kill, 3 versus 1 on Mouse Paisy there, but even so, it's really, really important that they get these early kills and then still have Ravage available to be aggressive as a follow-up. So that's really what they're looking for. Now, Paisy does see Vlatz. The ward is up from Leshrac, but it looks like they're not going to be doing too much more there. Leshrac actually not doing too bad on levels right now. Level 4 Leshrac, I mean, he's the worst on experience, but I've seen a lot worse for some Leshracs who are trying to play as supportive as possible, and unfortunately cannot get their skills ranked up whatsoever. But moving forward, Chernobyl trying to gank without that Ravage available, but at least he has 10 stick charges, so he can be very aggressive. He can tank up a lot. That's 150 health that he'll be able to pop off whenever he needs it. Can help him out quite a bit even without the Kraken Show. Cold Snap goes on to 2 good. Trying for some long-range aggression, but really not the opportunity for it. Instead, pick off the Shadow Shaman. Tornado goes on through. Gush, Split Earth, easy combos. And Vengeful Spirit actually casts that with the Magic Missile there. Chernobyl getting pulled back in, but he's so beefy, like I was saying. They really can't do too much to him. Now trying to put pressure onto Paisy. Too Good did steal a Split Earth, so it's going to be a pretty nice stun potential with no delay at all, so he can drop it down right on top of them as he needs to. But it's still 2 versus 4 right now until Enigma decides to come in. He doesn't have that black hole, but does have Malefice with the Soul Ring. So that's what he's going to be looking for here. In the meantime, lots of tracks up, trying to make sure they're on top of the Invoker, but it will expire, refreshes it, staying on top of it. Does he have any kind of mana regeneration? No, it's eating to his mana pool pretty hard. He didn't even bother skilling Shuriken. He just knows that he needs to spam that track, and he doesn't have the mana for tossing that one around, even if it is a very powerful nuke. Not going to help him out enough. In the meantime, though, Anti-Mage, this is what they need to do. Keep Anti-Mage farming, keep everybody distracted so they cannot focus him down or push him off the creep wave. If he can just continuously farm and get that GPM up, as he's currently sitting at 345. I mean, the same kind of thing is happening for Luna, only a little bit of counter-aggression from Paisy, which he can't really do too much, 1 versus 1. I mean, Luna has Drum right now. She's very happy for that, be very mobile with it. Probably go for a Yasha after the fact and be just the fastest thing on the planet. She already has a 330 base movement speed. Now she has Phase Boots and Drum to add to that. It's kind of ridiculous how fast she can go. But I'm not sure if that'll be the big factor. One thing to keep in mind, though, is how GGnet has drafted up against Enigma. As far as his black hole, there's no way that he's going to get unless he catches all 5 of them, there's no way he can get a legitimate black hole off. The Vengeful Spirit swap goes through BKB, the Magic Missile with some delay will stun him as well. Then Invoker has Cold Snap, Deafening Tornado. The Lucent Beam is a very long range, I think it's not 1,000, but it's extensive. Anyways, and now with Leshrac putting some Edict damage on the tower, they do pop Fortify for the 2nd time already. So 12 minutes in, the second Fortify is down. This tower might be very susceptible to getting pushed down in the near future. Ace wants to turn it around. He does have Eclipse, but he's tracked up. He gets Telekinesis pulled back. This was a mistake, and now he's going to get a lot of damage put into him. A little bit more, just a little there. Auto attacks will finish him off. And Mouse Paisy tracking it up. More money for everybody involved, except for Captain Crunch. Is that a missile stolen? I'm curious. From Too Good. He did pick up the Magic Missile, but does not currently have mana for it, as his Arcane Boots has been delayed, as he's focusing on right now on the Force Staff. Only needs 200 more gold for it, but has cost him a lot. And that's a lot of mana sustain that he won't have available. Yeah, there's a lot of animation glitches going on.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, Gush going off. Sorry, I was checking out chat. M5 getting pressure back a little bit. Eclipse going on the western end, putting a lot of damage into Thorn Mayo, but really nothing happening other than the Enigma, who might get Gush down once more, but he's fast enough with the track, he will escape. The stun, however, makes sure the Shadow Shaman is going to get locked down. So here comes Decapitated Invoker going on through. More graphical glitches. We had a lot last game. Like, seriously, almost everybody was naked. But it's just a little odd thing that hopefully they'll figure out how to fix. I'm surprised I haven't, like, immediately after the fact, but it's been going on for a while. Anyways, Enigma, true to what I was saying, he knows that he can't get that black hole off without a BKB. Cold Snap, nice stun, AoE, and the Enigma, yeah, they pop off everything. Holy crap, that was way too much. They popped off the Sentry Ward, which might have not even been necessary because the Diabolic Edict damage was bringing him down, but the Ravage topped that off and was really, really big overkill for this bounty hunter, who was only level 6, so it's not even the biggest kill in the world. But in the process, they did take down the tower. Radiant got the last hit on it, but gold is very beneficial in this game in general. But Battle Fear, oh gosh, Anti-Mage, 88 last hits, 87, whatever. His GPM is currently 350, free farming the entire time, and with that, 13-minute Battle Fury is really big for him. His supports can stack up creeps, neutral creeps in the jungle. He can farm those more rapidly down with the cleave, and also just flash farm and split push on lanes. He just gets so much more farm potential, and also the sustainability. Decent chunk of damage too. Cold Snap goes on too good. They want to pressure him down. Magic Missile will probably do the trick, but he has that Force Staff. Tornado goes on through, but misses based on that Force Staff, and it just saved his life for sure. They want to keep on going aggressively, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Purge, it's like totally counter-juking him, almost staying on top of him, but there's just too many trees, and he's going to have to fall back. One of the fastest guys with this Wex, but cannot stay on top of him with that Force Staff for the time being. He'll get a Force Staff of his own, though, and then won't be too difficult for Purge to just jump in on it. In the meantime, looking to pressure up on this tower. Anti-Mage has been putting a lot of damage into it, now transitioning into the jungle, has a lot of HP regen with the health component of that Battle Fury. In the meantime, Thorn Mayo about to hit level 6 with a couple more creep waves, actually not even close. If he was, I'd say that this tower would also be in a pretty dangerous spot, but they have fortification for both of them, whichever one they need to pop it off on, so we will see in the near future. In the meantime, Black Hole is back up, but like I said, if he is in a team fight and he doesn't catch every single enemy involved, somebody on Gosu Gamers is going to be able to stop that Black Hole. Even once he picks up the BKB, if Vengeful Spirit is smart enough and is level 11 or 16, then he'll be able to stop it with the swap. I don't think that was a good steal, but let me lock down on him. Oh, Lucent Beam. I guess that's okay. For the mana cost, it's a decent nuke and very good range, but I don't think it'll be a game changer here, that's for sure.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And meantime, yeah, they didn't even need the wards for it. Shadow Shaman able to, with assistance of Bounty Hunter, put that pressure down bottom. Now they'll transition towards mid, have the track up on Captain Crunch. Too good. Staying on really low life, though, bottling up as best he can. Probably wants to send out one more Lucent Beam before popping the last couple charges. But no, just going to go through, make sure, realizes that his health is way too important. M5 trying to give him some tangos, but not going to happen. TPing out, and actually Anti-Mage finish off that tower before all that happens, but Chernobyl getting pressured hard. Can't even ravage, just too much damage coming out. Didn't skill the Kraken Shell, couldn't pop his Magic Stick now. Anti-Mage in the action, now that Ravage is gone, he's fearless. He's jumping in hard, pursuing Ace as best he can. The Eclipse pops through, but it just burns him down before he can get really much out of it. So yeah, Anti-Mage, very nice aggression there. Purge popping in. Cold Snap goes on Thormail. He's on the tower. He's going to drop down. There's just too much, but now Purge is in a really rough spot. He Force Staffs away. He actually may survive. Very nice aggression from Purge, and is able to get a quick and easy kill, but the tower should still be forfeit with the fact that they lost too many there. The Ravage is available. If Tide was TPing in right now, the Fortify kind of implies that. Can Tide TP in to defend this? Leshrac is coming in instead. Yeah, they need to... Yeah, no, it's going to be Enigma that finishes that off, and then Anti-Mage blinks out perfectly fine. Tornado goes on through. The Splitters is on cooldown, but the Edict damage is sufficient, pulling him away from the Eidolons. He needs to micro the Eidolons in, but everybody's 3v3 now. Ravage, perfect. Ravage going off, going to kill off the Anti-Mage, please. Yeah, there's the Anti-Mage dead. With that, Purge is in the action, but he gets killed. With the track on him, the Ghost Walk doesn't really help him too much. Gets burned down by the Aether Shock. Now Captain Crunch trying to finish off. Oh, Dusk goes on through. He gets the Magic Missile, and he's trying to run for his life. Mouse Paisley out of mana, so it's not going to happen. Anti-Mage Bob back in as being very aggressive onto the Tidehunter, has a lot of movement speed based on that track. The Rubik putting Telekinesis up, and with that, he's going to be finished off. Lucent Beam KS, or secured. If you... Anyways, Magic Wand and the Phase Boots going up onto Bounty Hunter. And from there, he will be able to just be very aggressive, but I'm not sure why they're pinging Roshan. I really don't think that's anybody's potential right now. Not for a long while. Once they get Medallion on BH, maybe, but not sure exactly what they're talking about. But that was ridiculous. Yeah. No, I'm not rooting too much for Gosu Gamers. I think they're very well played. I like seeing Anti-Mage locked down and just barely dying. I hate him barely escaping with like 50 HP and blinking completely away from the team fight. It's a little frustrating. A little pent-up rage there. But yeah. Okay, anywho. Jerome going to be built up on the Bounty Hunter next. He's actually gotten a lot of gold for that. He's just been tracking up like crazy. I don't know. There should be, honestly, here's a new Valve development thing. Casters do it all the time and say, Valve, we need this. We need a track counter of how many kills have occurred with track on the target and just be able to pull that up somehow. I don't know if it should be like highlighted on the ability, mouse over it, and it'll say, I don't know, something. Valve, we need to do that, because I want to see how many tracks he's actually gotten off, because he's got a lot of gold since his terrible laning phase. Speaking of which, Ace getting tracked up and is disabled hard, and finished Bounty Hunter getting a super long range auto attack to finish the job. Bounty acquired. Anywho, Force Staff and Phase Boots up on the Invoker. Captain Crunch and Vlad's Nightmare supporting him pretty well. Let's track up to level 7. Not too bad. In the meantime, though, Anti-Mage has been farming up quite a bit, and 100 gold away from that Yasha. A lot of mobility, and I would say tankability, but he's not really too worried about. I mean, the armor helps, and with the fact that he has Spell Shield, he's not as susceptible to either, mitigates quite a bit. Too good buying up an Arcane Boots to actually help out his mana a little bit more than just the bottle have been. These Tangles will probably live here for the rest of the game. In the meantime, nice Tornado going on through. They want to pressure this tower, but unfortunately they just put into deny range, and they didn't realize that 3 were defending it, and with that they can't really pressure it with that, and they're just going to go for the quick and easy deny. So, Bounty Hunter finishing the job there. And with that, a lot of gold that could have gone the way of GGnet. They really need that gold, considering the Anti-Mage. Okay, Rubik's getting hit hard. He gets Ravage going off. Chernobyl putting a lot of pressure out, and now trying to pursue onto Mouse Paisy. Do they have detection? I don't think so. So they aren't able to lock him down, but a couple easy kills on the squishy intellect heroes, always beneficial as well. So, if they had dusted right then, that would have been the death of Bounty Hunter, but they didn't. Obviously, not something you want to risk when it's unlikely that he's just chilling around. In the meantime, Enigma on the bottom lane with the Black Hole rank 2 coming up in a short time period. He actually has enough for that BKB, so he can pick that up right now and send that out to him from the Flying Courier, just TP back to base and buy it like a normal person, I guess, whatever. But he does have the BKB, and the main point of that is that there is no disable on GGnet except for Vengeful Spirit and her Nether swap. So it's going to be really, really important for Captain Crunch to stay out of Enigma's threat range, or at least not stay grouped up. I mean, if he can stay away from his teammates, pretty much Enigma has 2 choices. Ultimate the Black Hole, ulti Vengeful Spirit alone, or ulti the rest of the team, and then get swapped out like half a second later, because it is a very instantaneous cast time. So as long as Captain Crunch is doing good positioning, level 6 is really rough to get off because it's only 600 range, but later on, once he hits level 11, that'll be a really big deal, and Captain Crunch needs to be on the ball, otherwise his team is going to be susceptible to like a 4 or 5 man disable that can not be interrupted in any way, and that's going to be very difficult to go up against. Now, although he has BKB, he doesn't have any Blink Dagger or anything like that, so he's going to have to Tranquil Boots walk right in and try to stroll in and get what he needs. Meantime, Battle Fury AM almost hitting 500 GPM with 162 last hits, doing very good there. And it's in, at a respectable 214 as far as KDA goes. Now, Ping's going out onto Roshan. They're kind of looking at it and possibly popping the Serpent Wards just to bring it down really quickly. Yep, doing that indeed. And now they're going to be trying to focus as best possible. They don't have any negative armor effects, but, just trying to do as best they can. And they know they can do this because even if the entire Radiant team of GGnet all came into the pit, guess who'd be waiting with open arms and a very, very cosmic death going through with the Black Hole. So Sunstar goes on through. Radiant knows what's going on, but far too late, and even if they were there, they'd just be walking into death with that Black Hole, unless there was some really good tornado action or something, I don't know. But AM, 2 lives, really big deal for him. He has plenty of sustain. He is going to be picking up the Manta style in no time at all. And when does AM Anti-Mage join the fights? It's at 3 AM. Yeah, it's way overdone jokes, and now it doesn't even sound funny in my head, but oh well, I felt like saying it. In the meantime, Ace farming up decently, looking for a BKB of his own. I think he could go Aghanims technically, but Nuker Carriers isn't really what you're looking for in this. Not even going for the Moonglaive. Obviously, he doesn't have a Helmet Dominator, so he's not going to be stacking up the Ancients. And so with that, he just wants to get as much damage out and survive for as long as possible, keep that Lucent Beam rolling. But in the meantime, farm is going both directions, and as far as the gold graph goes, you're looking at over about 8,000 gold advantage going on through Tornado. EMP the EMP doesn't hit. Does not do anything at all. Too good. Trying to burn down. The telekinesis goes on through. The tornado gets stolen itself. He immediately kind of reactively throws that out. He probably could have saved it for a better time, but it's always fun to look cool, and the second you get a spell, cast it out. But nah, I'm just getting around. Anyways, I feed really wants. One thing to notice is that Rubik has that Force Staff, has had it for quite a long time, so he could actually give the M5 captain a little bit of a boost into the good position to get that black hole off. It's half a blink dagger when you cast on somebody else, 600 range, so could actually set up something really nice if they can time that well enough together. But if I recall correctly, you can't Force Staff when somebody's BKB'd, so they have to do the Force Staff and the BKB immediately after. They're looking on aggression for Slayer mini casters, and though he does blink away, so he will be fine. This initiates a really good fight for TM. If they want to go in on this, Enigma has to get in on it though, and right now he's nowhere near. He's coming for a flank. Tornado goes off on through, looking for a BKB black hole. Perfect timing for it, but the Ravage goes on through. Finally gets the black hole off, but only on one. He gets swapped out, and there's no damage to follow it up. It took forever for TM to set that fight up, and now Anti-Mage finally goes down after blinking back in, but now there's so much damage coming out, he might not even get out. He does blink away. Sunstrike is going to happen. Purge, looking for it. Come on. No, he's just juking too hard. There's no way he could predict this. I mean, he might have just walked past a ward. Yeah, he did just walk past a ward. Illusion Rune, though. It's going to be way too hard for him to Sunstrike that. He only has rank 1 anyway, so it wouldn't burn him down. I don't know why I'm making such a big deal about it, but Anti-Mage makes it away. 350, and now he is pretty close to his ultimate orb there. And that'll give him his Mantis style in no time at all, just a little bit more farming. But really, that was not the fight that TM was looking for there. They had a pretty good opportunity, but just there was no Force Staff on the Enigma. They were split up. Everybody was trying to get something perfect counter initiation off, and in the process, it was weird because TM wanted to spread out and run away from the Eclipse Ravage combo, but they also wanted to group up and put pressure with the black hole. So there was a little bit of miscommunication. It was very disorienting for their entire team, and in the process, they lost a number of heroes before they could even get any of their disables off, and that was not what they needed there at all. So that cost them, and that team fight went completely the direction of GGnet, and has a lot of potential for Purge to scale up a lot. He's already level 15, once at 17. Like I said, the last game, it's so important to get that invocation down to just the 5 seconds there, and it's going to be a really big deal. Meantime, putting pressure up on the top lane can easily bring it down in like a matter of seconds with the Diabolic Edict, definitely ranked out at max 4. Paisy up against Tri-Lane once more, doesn't really want to have to deal with that. Throwing out tracks and just falling back. Mayo does not have Blink, not looking for long-range initiation, just wants to survive for right now. Magic 1 and Ogre Club, sure signs of that. Meantime, though, the Black Hole is going to be on cooldown for a very long time. The Ravage will only be up 35 seconds from now, so they could be a little bit more patient about it. But Tornado gets stolen once more. He pretty much has that, like, not 100% of the time he has Tornado available, but not a big deal. Anyways, the Anti-Mage will be farming, and once he gets that Mantis Style, it's going to be a really big deal for him. So, I think that, yeah, MTM really needs to wait just one more minute without any clash at all. They'll have the Mantis Style, they'll have the Black Hole, and they'll have a lot more potential to jump in on this stuff, but they really need a better team fight than what happened last time. That was a disaster for them. Just not what they wanted at all. Mantis Style has been finished. Hidden level 17, so really good. If you're looking at experience per minute, Anti-Mage just on the top of the board by far, shining compared to all these guys here, but Invoker not too far behind, and with enough attack speed. Not really going for an Alacrity build per se, but the Sheep Stick should be sufficient to take Anti-Mage out of the fight for a considerable amount of time. Ace, did he get... I don't know what that Frost... Oh, that was just the Wraiths or Witches or whatever they're called, the Cold Ladies. But anyways, the Invisible Thornmail probably going to try to scout out and try to get an advantageous position. In the meantime, though, Smoke has been popped up on the Radiant. They're looking for something big. And Purge leading the pack, wants to get a cold snap off. Tornado if he needs it, but do they have the detection to bring down Mouse Paisy if they run into him here? Smoke has expired on some, Tornado goes on through, they have Dust, perfect timing, Cold Snap goes on through, he's completely toast, nice counter Tornado hitting everybody, but not going to be a big deal. And everybody excludes Leshrac because nobody counts him ever. But Plat's Nightmare feels very differently about that. Is the drum been finished up already? I think, yeah, Luna picked it up, so not really what he's looking for, just looking for more health, possibly going BKB. Even though there's not that much magic damage from TM, after you look at the Fade Bolt and the Ether Shot going on through, there's really not that much. I mean, you can't count out Shuriken and Malefice, but it's not going to be the most devastating thing in the world. The auto attacks are pretty considerable, and I don't know if a BKB will change Flat's Nightmare's current disposition, where he's in and out of the fights a lot because he's getting pressured pretty hard, and he turns into a substantial Anti-Mage Mana Bomb. Maybe that's it. Anti-Mage is, a lot of people don't know, Mana Break does not actually proc when BKB is active, so... With that, they actually will be able to pressure this tier 2 pretty easily. The Fortification and Tornado were nice, but not able to deter them enough, and they're really afraid of Chernobyl's potential to do a very big ravage, and with the mechanism, they can sustain very well against anything that TM throws at them unless they get an amazing black hole off, which they're still looking for. Blink Dagger up on Enigma, that's really big. He needs to hide it. He needs to make sure that they can't see what's going on there. Sorry I haven't checked the chat recently, guys. It's been a pretty active game, but yeah, pretty much what it is as far as long-term, Antimage just scales too hard for them to not shut him down right now. He's farming in their jungle. He's as aggressive as he wants to be, and with the the Manta style and the Battle Fury, he can just farm up so rapidly with absolutely no contest. And if he continues in this route, there's really nothing they can do. He's gonna not be able to 1v5, but darn near close to it, especially if he can get a good Mana Void off on one of the high intellect heroes. But anyways, so he's going to be looking for a BKB or more damage. I would prefer a BKB in the mindset that the Scythe of Vice is coming up on the Invoker in no time at all. So Courier bought it? Yeah, there it is. I was like, I thought he had more gold than that. Anywho, Ace farming up a little bit as best he can. He has the BKB finally, but no lifesteal, so he's getting knocked down pretty hard just by these golems. I mean, you saw how Antimage was tanking up those Ancient Creeps on bottom, and Luna's not having a good time at all. Okay, yeah, it spawns a minute, buddy. But anyways, just wants to get in on the action, farm. He's very, very quick about it. He can farm like half the jungle and then jump back to Ancients every single minute. So he can be all over the place at once, and that's very effective with the fact that he scales so well with items. He's very dependent on it. Not the hardest carry in the game, like I've said like 4 times already, but he does a lot with it, and that's very important. So he's looking for another Aegis. Once the Roshan responds, they're going to be looking for a team fight all around Roshan. In the meantime, just farm. So with his current GPM, net worth top loading over 14,000, nobody even close. Luna doing not that great, and Purge, although he has picked up a very key item of the Scythe of Ice, if he doesn't use it as effectively as possible, then he's gonna have a rough time the next team fight. But the drafting of Vengeful Spirit makes sure that the Black Hole is never going to be the biggest problem in the world unless Captain Crunch gets caught out. So, taking that into consideration, I think that they can put a lot of damage out into the enemy team, and GGnet still aren't out of this just yet. They have a lot of team fight, but they really have to do something about this Anti-Mage. Pick him off solo and burn him down before he can get that Aegis of the Immortal, or it's going to be extremely difficult to do anything as a follow-up here. So, Chernobyl looking for a big Ravage. I mean, yeah, there will be a lot of follow-up damage if they can manage it here. I mean, EMP does quite a bit. The continuous damage from Leshrac, Pulse Nova could add to it quite a bit. And as far as utility items, there's no mechanism, there's no pipe, so they don't have any way of sustaining their carries. Once they go down, that's it. But the problem is they can't really initiate up against this Enigma and get perfect positioning for it. It's very difficult. So. Having a bad time of it right now, especially with the track coming out, looking to gank a Mouse Paisy. The Sheep Stick started off, Cold Snap goes on through, but a beautiful Tornado from Rubik to GD. Going to stop it out, and that big initiation they were looking for, just popping off a giant cooldown of 35 seconds, and Mouse Paisy perfectly fine. And Dandy back in the safety of his tier 2. Now they are putting a little bit of harassment long range, but it's just not happening. GGnet. The creeps get pushed down immediately, and now it looks like they're looking for some potential to just go on this really quickly. They know Roshan's coming up pretty soon. This is the climax of the game in my mind. Whatever goes on right here will decide how the rest of the game flows by far. The Roshan's about to spawn. Blink Dagger BKB up on Enigma. He wants to get a crunch. He wants to get everybody. But right now, the Anti-Mage is so farmed. They see it with the Wave of Terror. They know Enigma's chilling out there, and that's a really big deal. Tornado goes up on them. They're not going to really be able to do anything after that. They're trying to damage down the tower, but they don't want to group up too much. It's really difficult to position against this. And whoever wins the next team fight has Roshan and has towers for sure. So it's going to be a really big deal here. Anti-Mage in the meantime, well, what's he doing? He's farming. He's going to push. He's going to split push on tier 2. He has the TP scroll to teleport right back in it. Or he just wants to farm on jungle. He says they're not pushing right now. They are too afraid to. Tornado continuously counter-pushing. He's going to put damage on this tier 2. They do not have Glyph anymore, so he can actually burn it down really quickly. They'll TP in, but to no avail. Now they want to push, but he's going to teleport right back as soon as the tower drops. So, last hit for tower for Anti-Mage, and now he's TPing back immediately, or is he? Is he going to look for tier 3? Nope. Trade tier 2 for tier 2. And with that, pretty much the advantage of that trade goes to whoever has the most endgame, which is currently TM right now. Team Manager is doing pretty well, but they need a quick pause. That will help us regroup for our next team fight. Scythe of Vice is going to have to land on Anti-Mage to do anything in general. But from there, he has finished his BKB up, and that's 10 seconds. That's a fresh BKB, hitting at 32 minutes. Checking the chat real quick, making sure. Yep, just a little bit of deliberation about the mechanics there, but overall, as long as everything's good in the stream, audio and everything, moving forward. Okay. Moving forward. Alright, so Vlad's right now, he really needs his level 11. He needs that Pulse Nova damage. There's no pipe, there's no mechanism to counteract the AoE aspect of that. So if he can distribute that damage and stay alive, that's going to be a really big deal. But his BKB isn't up, so he's going to take a lot of damage from that mana break. 3 AM, the mana break is 64 on each of them, that's times 3. So it can burn down Vlad's mana bar in an instant. And from there, he can just ulti Leshrac, and anybody nearby him will just take a lot of damage. Along with that, they're always afraid of the black hole, the Enigma with the BKB and the Blink Dagger. Captain Crunch, their only possible savior, and with that, he's pretty easy to pick off in his current state right now. So with that, I haven't even mentioned the fact that they do have a bounty hunter who continuously is feeding more and more GPM. You look at the gold graph, and it's very, very well in favor of Team Manager right now. It's plateaued off just a little bit. I'm kind of surprised at that with Anti-Mage continuously farming while they turtle the push, but, you know, one way or another, it's going to work out in TM's favor. And they're looking at Roshan, they're looking at their tier 3s, they're looking all over the place, but Vlad's Nightmare knew that he had to fall back for the time being, get a little bit more farm, but more importantly, make sure those tier 3s don't get pressured at all, because if those tier 3s are like sitting at half health when they want to start a push, they'll be able to take racks along with it very effectively. But now, this gives the window for TM to get that Aegis back up on the Anti-Mage, and from there, it's going to be so difficult to finish this off. It's going to be so difficult for Anti-Mage to bring down Anti-Mage. I mean, he has a 10-second BKB, he has Manta Style, Battle Fury, Treads, 33 minutes he's level 20, and now he'll have a second life. It's just ridiculous. Tornado goes off to make sure that they're not doing anything fishy, but no smoke up, nothing at all. Anti-Mage picks up his second life, and with that, the green Mario Mushroom will make sure that Anti-Mage is full life and mana, jumping back into it the second he drops down, and that'll be good for the next 10 minutes. So, Ace picking up a few good items for himself, the Manta Style, but his farm is just nowhere near it. 540 GPM versus 380. The last hit's 283 for the Slayer mini-casters. I'm not sure if anybody put in chat who that guy actually is. I'm guessing it's Marcus, the unnamed guy, otherwise he's drunken. Neither one of them playing with their actual tags, but one way or another, he's farming insanely well and performing admirably in that respect. So, good carry, and with that, he's getting good items, and that's a really big deal. He has buyback now, so that's 3 Anti-Mages to deal with if he does decide to pop that off and spend the money on it. The BKB and the Pulse Nova have been spent up, so with that level 11 and BKB, this Leshrac is so much more effective. He can still get burned down pretty hard, but the fact of the matter is at least he won't get mana braked, and that will allow him to do more and more and more in the team fight and put out a lot more AoE magic damage. Won't do too much against Anti-Mage with his current health pool, with his BKB and his 50% spell shield, but still be able to do a lot of damage to the remainder. Bounty Hunter looking for a BKB himself. Surprised not a Dezo, but he needs to survive, he needs to sustain, and right now Purge is the main player for the GGnet crew. I mean, Luna's doing pretty good herself, but right now the Scythe of Ice is just too much to throw out there. Pretty much if Anti-Mage pops his BKB and Bounty Hunter doesn't have one, then BKBs, or the Scythe of Ice is obviously going off on the Bounty Hunter. But if they both pop it simultaneously, it gives them a really rough choice of having to wait 10 full seconds to use it, or use it on somebody he would not prefer. So with that, 3 BKBs up on the Dire team managers, and 4? Rubik has one too, and it looks like even Shadow Shaman wants one. So 4 BKBs, all of them either 9 or 10 seconds, and it's going to be so hard to teamfight them. The Ravage is completely reliant on the BKB not being there. The Invoker, almost all of his stuff other than his physical damage, which is not what Purge is built. Now they're looking for some good initiation on here. Steep 6 starts it off, really good there. Needs to Ravage it just to make sure. Oh, that's sufficient though. Pulse, the Split Earth was good, and 2 second stun, following it up, pretty good there. We have a Terror Miss, but Tornado goes on through. Now he's going to BKB. He's putting in the aggression here, and the counter aggression comes in through. He just destroys both Tidehunter and the Leshrac, and now comes in I feed, looking for a black hole, picks up 2. Purge and Captain Crunch can't swap out of that, and now the damage from the Serpent Wards is doing so much. The Eclipse goes on through, but he gets telekinesis up, a lot of damage coming into him, a lot of damage going out. He does get another kill. No, nobody's dropping down. Everybody's just barely surviving. There's a lot of creeps in the mix. Split up too much, and it's not going to happen. Even Anti-Mage survives, and it's just 5 kills 4 TM with a triple kill going out to, I believe, the Anti-Mage there. Just he did so much in that fight, starting it off, bringing down the Tidehunter before even Ravage could pop, and with that is easily a team fight, easily towers, and at least a tier 3. They're going to be able to bring down the tier 3. I don't know about Rax with Ravage still being available. It's possible to defend it, but they don't have the glyph, and it's going to be difficult. Meantime, just really amazing play from... I don't know. It's just Slayer Minicasters did exactly what he needed to. His farm allowed him to stay alive through that, at least with the Aegis. Obviously, if he didn't have the Aegis, it would be a completely different story, but the second he came out of that tornado, he just spammed his BKB, and from there was able to do a lot. Captain Crunch trying to swap out Mouse Paisy, but he pops his BKB, will survive for the time being. The Ravage does nothing. Captain Crunch still alive. Too good. Steals the Ravage, though. Wants to burn down Vengeful Spirit. Just one more auto attack will do it, and that's a track kill. Now Enigma taking a lot of damage here. BKB is not available. He's just a little bit more damage from that Pulse Nova. Ledge Track will finish somebody off. Geometry Sight on the ground from Thorn Mayo. Getting dropped down Thon. But Purge trying to pursue very fast with a 4-step with that Wex, wants a Sheepstick off. Is that a Mouse Paisy found him, but he doesn't have detection. Purge instead pursuing onto the Rubik, has a Sheepstick, starts off with that, going with the Cold Snap to follow, and that will be his death. So good counteraction, but they lost 2 tier 3 towers for that. The gem is the only recompense for it, with Mouse Paisy surviving for the time being. So the fact of the matter is that with all these lanes pushed out, I mean, you're looking at creeps battling here, creeps battling up and around the river for both bottom and mid, and now at their base for mid, that pretty much means they cannot follow up with any good tower push action. Ace wants it, but it's just not going to happen. So it's way too far across the base, and pretty much everybody's all by themselves. So they really cannot pursue a tower kill. And with that, 4-step goes on through. Sheepstick onto Mouse Paisy. He's taking Cold Snap. Will he be able to Shadow Walk out? The Dust says no, and the Deafening Blast goes on through. Luna picking up that kill. Very important there, as that is a 50-second. He may actually be forced to buy back here. Tornado goes on through, but a blink away. The Split Earth, both of them not able to lock down on this Anti-Mage, who has also lost some cosmetics here. He's actually running around with magical blades, so he's kind of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the Star Wars guy with that dual wields, but whatever. Bounty Hunter buys back, very important there. And moving on. Only has rank 2 track, but it's been adding up so far in this game. Purge gets disabled for a time being, but not really going to worry about it too much. Anti-Mage, what are you? Chilling in the trees for the time being, so he's just going to, you know, have some fun. Anti-fun right here. These trees having no fun. But now the Manta gets popped. Action going in. The Heart is available. BKB Manta style. Just so much coming out. Flats is going to possibly drop down. Yeah, he gets swapped out for the time being, so he's alive at the moment. Wepa is trying to bring somebody down, but he's having to fall back. He's not able to stay on anyone. Really good kiting from GGnet. They might have to fall back here, but at least nobody dropped down. In fact, picking up a kill on Rubik, who's so squishy right now, even with his BKB. So, Rubik died back here. I'm not exactly sure what finished him off, but the fact of the matter is Anti-Mage popped everything there. Popped his Manta Style, popped his BKB. Okay, Manta Style's coming back up in a moment. But Alacrity going up on Purge, trying to put as much damage into this tower as possible. The Glyph goes off, so they're going to have to fall back for the time being. M5 looking for the Blink, looking for the Black Hole. He wants it. The Tornado goes on through, though. BKB has popped and expired, so now he cannot guarantee anything. Following up through. And now the Sheepstick onto Anti-Mage, and it looks like Invoker even is going to get out here. Is he gonna? He Ghost walks away. Do they? I think they have detection. Dust maybe. Captain Crunch gets tracked up. He's going to drop down for sure. Purge has to get out of there though. I thought Mouse had Dust, but nope, does not. And Ghost Walk is going to be sufficient to get him out of there. So pretty rough there actually. I thought that they would just fall back. The fact of the matter is they kited extremely well up against the Anti-Mage. Really good swaps, 4-staffs, everything they needed to make sure he couldn't lock somebody down. Hey, even up against his really short cooldown Blink. And kited him out until the BKB expired, at which point they could just disable him and he had to fall back. Wow, long-range Tornado. Just taking some Eidolons out. They are a little bit under the weather there. But anywho, the issue was they really didn't fall back. After they kited out, they had like 2 heroes on half health. They didn't have the full mana. They didn't have Tidehunter ready. Chernobyl to jump in. He has a Blink Dagger now, by the way, and almost a rank 3 ultimate. But he wasn't ready to initiate on that, and they really just stayed in a place where they really couldn't do much. They couldn't push in, obviously, on the base, and they were probably just trying to bait somebody up to get some quick, easy kills, but it got turned around on them by far. And just gushing Anti-Mage back a little bit. He could care less. He'll regenerate that in about like 3 seconds. Look at that heart regeneration, 66 out of combat. But really, really big. But yeah, no, that fight was not in favor of GGnet at all. That's not what they wanted. They're going to smoke up and try to change things around a little bit because they got picked off way too much. I mean, yeah, Purge got away, and that's really big since he is so high in experience right now with 467. Holy crap, Anti-Mage's experience. He's level 25 in 41 minutes. I mean, that's not it's kind of insane. 41-minute mark, and he has 780 some experience per minute. Going down now because he can't accumulate anymore, but shoot, he has just been allowed to farm all over the map, and that's what he does with that Battle Fury, with that Blink. He's so aggressive here. Coming in Chernobyl, looking for a Ravage. Purge in the action, though. War trapped up. He 4-staffs away for the time being. Black Hole, I-Feed, looking for it. Only catches on Ace. Gets swapped out immediately. Captain Kush trying to go onto Slayer, but just the Mana Void on Titan are not that big a deal. But on the western end, Mouse Paisley finishing off on the Shrek, and Anti-Mage pursuing, trying to lock down Purge. He's trying to invoke, gets the Cold Snap up, but no follow-up damage, and I-Feed actually going to blink in and take the kill there. Invoker buyback. Purge trying to hold on to this, but it just might be a good game with those deaths there. I mean, Shadow Shaman and Rubik got picked off, but they're not nearly as core, especially with this nearly full HP Anti-Mage coming up with the heart. It's just so ridiculous here. So, on the western end, the Bounty Hunter was able to track down and finish off the Lushrak, and forcing Luna to buy back as well, as she got caught up in the black hole. Not the best black hole scene for MyFeed, but he hasn't needed them. They knew that GGnet counterpicked almost their entire team to make sure that they didn't have to worry about Enigma ultis. And with that, they were seeing a window where Anti-Mage could just farm up and stay on top of things. And they have certainly capitalized on that to that extent. Pulling up the GPM 610. Not that big. I mean, GPM 610 is pretty solid, but the fact of the matter is it's over the course of 42.5 minutes, setting up a net worth of 24k. And it's harder to get more farmed than Anti-Mage. Set up the Boots of Travels, go for maybe a Butterfly, and then you're really all set. They're looking for Roshan. Not gonna. Oh no, he's just secret shopping from there. I mean, this is your secret shop. You can just, you're dire. You can just chill out over there. But no, he's saying hi to Roshan's corpse while he purchases it up, possibly a Butterfly. Anywho, going up with that. How's Luna farming? She's gotten her Manta style, but nothing more. And out of drum charges, she really can't do too much more than that. So she's in a pretty sore spot right now. They know that Roshan is respawning. They're pinging it out, and Anti-Mage is just waiting for it. Now he wants at least the Aegis, probably have someone else pick up the cheese, but now with the black hole on cooldown, this is the one Roshan they can contest. Enigma has the Lincoln Sphere. He can't be swapped anymore if he pops the BKB, but again, 60 seconds left on the black hole, so Anti-Mage pops the BKB, tries to put aggression out. Nice swap out from Captain Crunch. Luna running for his life. The Vengeful Spirit drops down on the southern end. There's really no pursuit, but Ace, is he really getting out of that? The movement speed from the Manta style, from the phase boots, keep him out of the action. What's going on there? Camera bugged out. Couldn't even click on the minimap. Very unfortunate there, but Leshrac was finished off with Shadow Shaman locking him down with those disables, and now he's taking the opportunity to get bashed like crazy by Roshan before finishing him off. So Mouse Phase is going to pick up the cheese most likely, and from there, another Aegis the Immortal available for the Anti-Mage. So what happened in that team fight? Trying to think of really the best way to describe it. First of all, the Ravage. Didn't find any good openings for that. They're going to do a quick pause out. Make sure that he's not lagging or anything along those lines. But one way or another. If I remember correctly, this is a Southeast Asian server. I'm not. That might have been last game. It's been so crazy. My mind's all over the place with this game, but it's been very active so far. And thanks for tuning in, guys. If you don't know who I am, I'm Blaze Casting, upcoming Dota 2 caster. Having a lot of fun with this Dota 2 Staff Cup so far. Going into, I think this is the second to last round for the winner's bracket. There might be an extra round for the losers, but best of one right here. And right now, looking very good for TM. Gold graph in their favor by far. The Anti-Mage being the end game hero of the game, and has the most potential to really finish things off. I mean, Luna does a decent damage output, but really they were able. Anti-Mage went right on top of her, was able to focus her down, and it was only the Vengeful Spirit that was able to save her. But she did drop down. No, she got out in the end, but Vengeful Spirit took the fall, and so did Leshrac. The Ravage, there was no real good time for it, with the counter aggression coming out of TM that they apparently didn't expect. And with that, one thing I meaning to discuss, and now I will. Enigma has a BKB, a Blink Dagger, and a Lincoln Sphere. This means that once he pops his BKB, as long as his Lincoln Sphere is not on cooldown, Vengeful Spirit cannot swap him out, and that means it is a guaranteed black hole on whoever he puts it down on. So this is all about GGnet's positioning, and if they get caught out, even 3 grouped up, that's good game by far. I mean, a so farmed Anti-Mage. I mean, at net worth 26,000, he has 2 lives, level 25, and he has a uninterruptible black hole on his side with the Blank Dagger. It's just, it's going to be so difficult for GGnet to survive against the next team fight here. Chernobyl will do what he can. He has even a Ghost Scepter up against that Anti-Mage, but right now, just trying to hold on to that gem. I don't think it'll make much difference at all. Courier bringing up a little bit for Too Good, getting the cheese. He has the cheese. Now he has a Hood of Defiance. So a lot of magic armor. Now the aggression comes out. Anti-Mage jumping in on everything. And just so many illusions going on through, burning through everybody here. Enigma wants the black hole, doesn't need it. It's just everybody's evaporating before your eyes. There's the damage coming out from Wepus. It's insane. And yeah, he's gonna just stay on top of Chernobyl. He has his Ghost Scepter on cooldown. He will be, no, he just popped it. Blink Dagger will be available. Ace running for his life. The Ravage goes off to try to save the carry Luna, but really, it's not going to happen. They're just going to fall back and heal the base, and this is going to be forfeit tier 3, and possibly Rax. The Rubik is buying back, going to come right back in it. Doesn't really, just has to do the Walk of Shame without a TP scroll. Nope, tower came up, so he could possibly get a TP, but he only has tier 3. It's not going to be a big deal. Tier 2 on bot, but nah. Focusing on to the actual fights here. Anti-Mage going a bit aggressive onto the Tidehunter. The Ghost Scepter is still available though, and yeah, he can always. Oh, not gonna happen, Slayer. He wants to jump in on and finish the guy. Luna in the action right here. Pops his Ghost Scepter, pops his ultimate. Now he is gonna get destroyed though. The Manta Style was not popped in time, so he couldn't get that counter damage out, and just got single black hold by iFeed. And break the desk, please, making sure he's locked down for the game. Down for the count. The Magic Missile comes onto Slayer Minicasters. Even if they eat through all this health of his, he has an Age of the Immortal, and he will be perfectly fine to stay on top of things. Vengeful Spirit swaps him in, and now the Sheepstick, he will actually drop down. Mouse Paisley taking a lot of damage too. The stun comes out from Captain Crunchus. He will finish him off. Now they're looking for a Cold Snap onto Slayer. He doesn't have BKB, but he has so much health at heart, 2,800, and godlike Anti-Mage. He's going to finish this off, and this is going to knock down GGnet into the lower bracket for sure. So they're going to have to go. I'm not sure if Toby's game is still winner's bracket technically, I believe. So with that, if Toby loses, then that's who they'll be facing in the losers bracket finals. I don't know. The brackets haven't been updated very effectively, so I'm not exactly on top of who will go next. But it looks like team managers will move on in the winners bracket, and I believe go on to the grand finals with that. I'm not sure. Or have one more match before they go grand finals. But anyways, one way or another, this was the best of one. Purge, GGnet gets knocked down into the losers bracket, and the team managers goes on with a very effective win from the M5 manager, playing extremely well there. So good game, well played to all, and that's going to be the conclusion of this game here. Moving on into the next one in just a little bit. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Like I said, I'm an up-and-coming Dota 2 caster, Blaze Casting, and if you like my casting, you can check out any VODs I have up on YouTube, or just tune in for my channels to do a lot of in-houses and tournaments and stuff. But it's been very fun to cast this Dota 2 Staff Cup, seeing a little bit of what the guys behind the scenes can do in these organizations here. So it's been very fun. Moving on to the next game as soon as possible. In the meantime, listen to some music, kick back, and enjoy. Thanks for tuning in.